go over how you can take these answers. And if you were, you had these on your tests, you could actually use this particular app to come up with -6 and 6 and 5 and -3 and 2. It'll actually just give you the answer, right? So we're going to use the graphing calculator. Give me 1 second. All right, so if you look at your directions in the little booklet you have, so it says we are finding the roots, and roots are x-intercepts, and you can find roots for a linear equation, that means for a line, as well as a quadratic. So this is not just for quadratics. So I will show you what you would have to do within the app if you just want to find like the solution or the root for a linear equation. But we're going to start with the quadratics first. Okay, so right here, you'll see APPS. So that represents apps. All right, now I have a whole lot of them, but you should only have 4. All right, but you should see the one that says polynomial root finder. All right, so we're going to go to the one that says PLYSMLT2. All right, so for me, it's going to be 7. Okay, and then you just simply hit enter. All right, so now this is where we want to be. Okay, root means solutions, x-intercepts, and so on. Don't do polyroot finder help. You just want option number 1. So you should already be there. Just hit enter. Okay, now this is where you're looking at your problem. In this case, problem number 21. And it's asking you, the calculator is flashing on, like, what is the highest exponent in the problem? Okay, if it's a 2, you would write a 2. Like down here, and I want to show you this, because it doesn't have to be a 2. If you were doing the x-intercept, like for this one, because it's a linear equation, you wouldn't press 2. The highest exponent is 1. So that's why that's important. Okay, so you need to know, what does that mean? It means the exponent, the highest exponent in your problem that you're trying to find the x-intercept for, right? You got to know that, because, sometimes it's a 1, sometimes it's a 2. So in our case, it is a 2. So we're going to hit next. Now, next is under what button? What button do you see under here? What button should it say? Graph. Okay, so when you hit next, which should be your graph button, okay, you're going to get this screen. All right. So now what you want to do is asking you for the coefficients. So let's look at question 21. Well, actually, let's do 22 first, just because it does have 3 numbers. But if we did do 21, it just simply means our middle term would be 0. But let's just go ahead and punch in 3 numbers. So our first coefficient is 1. So if you don't have a 1 there, go ahead and type in 1. Then hit enter. All right, now it's asking you, do you want to press a plus or a minus? So we're looking at question 22. What is it? Minus. Everybody hit minus and enter. So you just type it in just like you see it. 10. Enter. And then plus 25. Actually, let me do that again. All right. Now, once you have it all typed in, you just hit solve. And again, underneath the word solve, you should see graph. And there are your solutions right there. So if you look at go back to your SOL packet, the answer was what? Was it 5? Let me go here. Answer was 5. That's it. I mean, it'll just give you the answer. Okay. So let's do another one. Okay, let's do number 23. Now you don't have to go all the way back to app. If we want to do another problem, we can just go back to main. So main, what's under, what button is under that? So hit your Y equals key and see, it'll just take you back to here. You don't have to go back to apps and all that. Okay, hit enter. Yes, the degree is 2, the order is 2, so we're going to hit enter, or next, sorry, which is graph. Okay, now this time we're going to put in 5 plus, so 5, enter first, plus, enter, 5, enter, and minus, enter, 30, enter. Hit solve as graph. There are your x-intercepts. Okay. All right, let's do 21. So we're going to go back to main, which is y equals. Hit enter. Okay, the degree, the highest exponent is 2, so I'm going to hit next, which is graph. Now this time I'm going to hit 2, enter, and then plus 0, well, plus enter and then 0, because I don't have a middle term, and then minus enter 72, enter. Solve it. 6 and negative 6. Okay. It's a good app to know how to use. And how could this help you also with factoring? Okay, because you could actually work backwards with the factors. Now, it's not going to tell you to take out the GCF of 2. It's not going to do that. You would at least know that you got to factor out of 2. But once you do that, here's x plus 6 and x minus 6. 2 times x minus 6, x plus 6. Now you factored it out. I know. Because you can always work backwards once you have the factors. Okay? All right, so let's do, I now want to do one where the exponent is not 2. So let's go back to this page here. And this one is at the bottom. So you find the zeros of the linear equations. These are linear because they're lines. So we're going to do this 2x plus 2. So let's go back to our app. So we're going to hit main. Okay, we're going to hit enter. Now I'm going to change this to a 1. So I'm going to cursor back, arrow back to 1, and hit enter. That's all you got to do is just change whether the exponent is 1 or 2, right? And then we're going to hit next, which is graph. Okay, and see how now they allow us just to put in 2 numbers. What was it? 2x plus what? 2. All right, so we're going to put in 2 plus 2. All right, so 2, enter, plus, enter, 2, enter, graph. There's your x-intercept. Okay. Okay, so now looking at your variation packet, and this one says solve each system. This is like if you wanted to do, remember when we did substitution method and elimination method? There's another app for that. And I'm going to show you how to do this using an app. All right. And let me find out where that is in your booklet. We'll look for that in a second. And keep in mind, remember how you put your calculators in scientific mode to do this? So you'll be practicing that scientific mode today. Just all you do is hit mode and change it to SCI. Okay, and then you're going to do this section using the app, so it won't take long. Okay. And see how I said right here, I give you a hint. Find the slope of the line for each pair of points. So when you're doing like the line of best fit, that option 4, just choose the A number and write down the slope. Okay, because you don't need the B. but you can get the slope right off your calculator just by using the a term. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, same now here, it actually asks you for the entire equation. So just pretend like you're doing a line of best fit and you can get the slope and the y-intercept, okay? All right, so in your booklets, it'll just be titled Linear Systems for CE and for Plus. Now, the thing is, before you get started, you do have to have these in order of the x term, the y term, and the constant. So sometimes you might have to at least rearrange things. Like here, I got to move this 4y over and move this over. So let's just rearrange it so it looks like standard form. And once you do that, you can just put the numbers into the app, hit solve, and it'll tell you what the solution is. Okay, so let's go ahead and just change this to 7x minus 4y equals negative 32. Yes, positive 32, because I moved it over. Thank you. And then for the second one, it'll be x minus 2y equals negative 4. So you need to have those numbers because it has to be in that order when you place it into the calculator. Okay. All right, guys, so we're ready now to go back to our calculators. Okay, and we're going to, let me clear all of this out. Okay, we're going to go back to our apps. Okay, actually, let me quit out of hit. I'm going to hit second mode just to quit, and it took me back here. If you're not here, just hit your apps key. And this time we're going to be doing simultaneous equation solver. So we're not looking for x-intercept, so we want to be at number 2. Okay, so the 2 that you're going to be using is either 1 or 2. Okay, so now we're going to hit enter. And it's asking you, how many equations do you have? Well, in a systems that we have been solving, we have 2 equations. So we're going to hit next, which is graph. So now all it's asking you to do is put in those coefficients. So remember, our first one was 7, enter, minus, enter, 4, enter, 32, enter. Okay, then we put in our second one, 1, enter, minus, enter, 2, enter, negative 4, enter. And then you hit solve, which is graph. There's your coordinate. They give you the x and they give you the y. So technically, you know, if you got in there and you forgot how to solve using elimination or substitution, you can punch it in and there you go. It gives you the coordinate. And sometimes they'll only ask for the x, sometimes they'll only ask for the y. Well, or they may ask for both and you have them right here. Any questions on that? All right, that's called a mistake. I typed in 44, not, so that was minus what? 4? Okay, I typed in 44, my fault. All right, so maybe it is a fraction. Everybody got a fraction? All right, so let's hit solve. All right. Is that, how many people got 8 and 6? Okay, all right, we're good. All right, so I did make that little typo there. So again, guys, what I would do, even using the app, I would still do it twice. Okay, I mean, it's not gonna, all you're doing is pushing buttons, so it's not like it's a big deal. All right, let's go back to our paper and let's do 11. Okay, let's do question 11. Now in question 11, we got to move that 6x over, so I'm going to have 6x plus 5y equals positive 45, and 6x plus, oh, okay. Well, let's just see what it says, okay? Now, if it is no solution, what you will see, and I don't know if this one is or not, but a no solution is going to say no real roots, or no, actually it'll say actually no solution, I believe. But let's go ahead and type this one in. All right, so I hit main, and which was y equals. Now I'm going to hit enter. Okay, then I'm going to hit graph, which is next. Now I'm going to put in 6, enter, plus, enter, 5, enter, and then 45, enter. Okay, next one is 6 again, enter, plus, enter, 5, enter, and then 35, enter. All right, I hit graph. All right, so negative 35. Thank you. Enter. All right, and then we're going to hit graph. Did anybody get that answer? All right, so no solution found, which means that these lines are parallel. They will not intersect. Okay, that's what it means when you get a no solution for a system. Too much.